Omolola stepped forward. I warned you. You've had your time, but you chose to ignore my words. Now it is time for you to leave. Ayodele stammered. You can't just do this, Omolola. This is our home. Not anymore, Omolola replied, her tone firm. You chose money over family. You made your bed. Now lie in it. In a quiet town in southwest Nigeria, there lived an elderly man named Baba Ademola. He was once strong and proud, having built a compound of 5 terrace houses where he and his wife, Ademola, raised their 4 children. 3 sons named Ayodele, Bamidele, and Durojaye, and a daughter named Omolola. Now in his twilight years, Baba Ademola was now a shadow of his former self, relying on a walking stick and struggling with failing eyesight. The house he built with his sweat and determination was more than just a home. It was a symbol of his legacy, filled with memories of laughter, love, and life's challenges. One day, his sons gathered in the family room, their eyes gleaming with ambition. They had been plotting for weeks and were ready to present their plan to their father. My sons, Baba Ademola called out, sensing their presence. What brings you here today? Baba, Ayodele began. We have been thinking, you and Yeye deserve a simpler life. This house is too big for you now. We believe it's time to sell it and move to a smaller place, something easier to manage. Baba Ademola's heart sank at these words. Sell the house? This is where I raised you all. Why would I sell it now, when all I want is to spend my remaining days in peace? Baba, Bamidele interjected. We understand how you feel, but we need the money for our businesses. With the proceeds from the sale, we could invest in opportunities that would benefit the entire family, and with the rest, you and Yeye could buy a more suitable home. Omolola, who had been quietly observing from the corner, finally spoke up. Baba, I don't think selling the house is wise. This is our home, our safety net. What happens if things go wrong? Where will we return to? How will you afford a new house? Her brothers turned to her, irritation flashing in their eyes. Omolola, Ayodele said dismissively, this is not your place. This is a matter for the men of the family. You do not understand business. Omolola's voice remained steady. This isn't about business. This is about our family legacy. Don't make Baba sell what he's worked so hard to build. But her words fell on deaf ears. The brothers continued pressuring Baba Ademola, insisting that selling the house was the best decision. Worn down by their relentless persuasion, Baba Ademola eventually agreed, though his heart was heavy with regret. The house was sold for 50 million naira. Ayodele, being the eldest, took 14 million, claiming it was his right. Bamidele and Durojaye took 10 million each, leaving Baba and Yeye Ademola with 6 million. They gave Omolola 8 million, thinking it would silence her objections. A few weeks after the sale, a letter arrived at Baba Ademola's house, addressed to Ayodele. The envelope was thick, stamped with the insignia of a lawyer who had handled the transaction. Ayodele tore it open, expecting routine documentation, but as he read, his expression changed from casual interest to shock, then fury. What's wrong? Bamidele asked, noticing his brother's clenched jaw. Ayodele didn't respond immediately. He thrust the letter towards Bamidele, his hands shaking with anger. Read this, he hissed. Bamidele took the letter and began to read aloud. Dear Mr. Ayodele Ademola, we are pleased to confirm the successful transfer of ownership of your family property. As per the agreement, the house at 15 Akinola Street is now officially owned by Miss Omolola Ademola. Bamidele's voice trailed off as the realization hit him. Durojaye, who had been listening, snatched the letter from his brother, his eyes wide with disbelief. Omolola, he shouted. How? How could this be? The 3 brothers exchanged looks of shock and betrayal. The truth was staring them in the face. Omolola had been the buyer all along, using a proxy to keep her identity hidden until the transaction was complete. This can't be happening. Ayodele muttered, pacing the room. She tricked us, our own sister. Bamidele, usually the calmest of the three, was seething. We wouldn't have given her a naira if we knew she was behind this. She used us, Ayodele. She used us to get the house. Drojayi was already heading for the door, his face twisted with rage. We have to confront her now. The brother stormed into the living room where Omolola was sitting with her mother. Omolola looked up, seeing the fury in their eyes, but she remained calm. Omolola, Ayodele began, his voice trembling with anger. What is this letter? Is it true? Did you buy the house? Omolola met his gaze steadily. Yes, it is true. I bought the house. You went behind our backs. Bamidele's voice was sharp with accusation. You deceived us, Omolola. How could you? Omolola stood up, her voice firm but composed. I did what I had to do to protect our parents. You were ready to throw away everything for money. This house is our family's heritage, our safety net. I couldn't let you destroy it. We wouldn't have given you that 8 million naira if we knew, Drojayi shouted. You have no right to that money or this house. Omolola's eyes flashed with resolve. This house is mine now, Drojayi. I have the papers. You have no claim here. This house is still ours, Ayodele shouted. We are not leaving unless you return the 8 million you took. We will fight you for this. Omolola's voice was cold as ice. You can't fight what's already done. The house belongs to me now. The only people I want to see in this house are Baba and Yeye. You have no place here anymore. The brother stood in stunned silence, struggling to process what she had just said. Ayodele was the first to recover, his anger bubbling over. You can't just throw us out, Omolola. We are your brothers and this is our family home. Omolola remained resolute. You have already taken what you wanted. Your share of the money. You can't have both the money and the house. I am giving you 2 weeks to move out. Take your wives and children with you. You've made your choice. Now live with it. Bamidele sneered. You think you can just order us around? You are a woman, the last child. You can't make us leave. We will stay as long as we want. Drojayi chimed in. She's bluffing. What can she do? Nothing. She's just trying to scare us. We will see who has the final say. The brothers were confident in their ability to bully Omolola into submission and chose to ignore a warning. They stayed on in the house, believing that Omolola's threats were empty. After all, they thought she was just a woman and they were the men of the family. Surely she wouldn't dare follow through. But Omolola was not one to be underestimated. 2 weeks passed and the brothers remained in the house, stubbornly refusing to leave. They went about their daily routine as if nothing had changed. However, Omolola had other plans. A week later, just as the sun was rising, the sound of rumbling trucks echoed through the compound. The brothers, who were still in bed, were startled awake by the noise. They rushed outside only to be met with the sight of soldiers stepping out of the trucks, their presence commanding and authoritative. Omolola stepped forward. I warned you. You've had your time, but you chose to ignore my words. Now it is time for you to leave. Ayodele stammered. You can't just do this, Omolola. This is our home. Not anymore, Omolola replied, her tone firm. You chose money over family. You made your bed, now lie in it. The soldiers will help you pack if you are not out by noon. Bamidele, who is normally composed, was visibly shaking. You are really doing this? You are throwing us out just like that? You gave me no choice, Omolola said. You thought you could bully me, but you were wrong. Now you will leave. The soldiers began moving towards the house, and the brothers realized that Omolola was serious. Their bravado crumbled as they watched the soldiers start to carry out their belongings. Defeated and humiliated, they hurried to pack their things, gathering their wives and children. There was no more room for argument. Omolola had made a stand, and they had lost. By noon, the house was quiet again. The brothers and their families were gone, their departure marked by the heavy silence that hung in the air. Baba Ademola and Yeye Ademola sat quietly in the courtyard, watching as Omolola ensured that everything was in order. Baba Ademola looked at his daughter with a mixture of sadness and pride. Omolola, you have done what needed to be done. May the ancestors bless you for your strength and courage. Omolola knelt beside her father, taking his hands in ours. I did what I had to do, Baba. This house is our home, and it will remain so for as long as you and Yeye are alive. From that day on, Baba Ademola and Yeye Ademola lived out their days in peace, knowing that their home and legacy were safe. And so, my audience, that was how Omolola was able to secure her parents' house. Through bravery and sacrifice, she stopped her greedy brothers from destroying her father's legacy, ensuring her parents had a place they would always call their home. Thank you for listening to this story. Please share what you have learned in the comment section. I am always happy to hear from you. I will see you in the next video. Until then, be kind and stay blessed.